Hi guys, I'm Melissa and I'm back with another story time. If you are new and want to be part of the animation, please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and turn your notification bell on so you can know every single time I upload a video. If you are not new, welcome back. So, as I already mentioned, today is a story time. I don't do much story times on my channel, but yeah, I'm back with my labor and delivery story time. If you want to know how I found out that I was pregnant, that video, the link will be in the description, so please go check it out. Yeah, if you hear any background sounds, please just don't mind it, just listen to me, your girl, not Melissa. So this is my raw labor and delivery story time. Like I was in labor for 25 hours and I also had an emergency C-section. So if you want to hear all the details and everything, stay tuned. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. When I found out I was pregnant, I downloaded a pregnancy tracker, that app on my phone, and then I also went to the clinic. So the tracker was saying that I would give birth on the estimated date, because the people at the clinic, I don't have medical aid, so I had to go to the public clinic. Keep that in mind. So the tracker was telling me the estimated date was the 8th of February. That was estimated date for me to give birth. Then it will be full 9 months. Okay, so I went to the clinic. The nurses, they told me the 10th was the estimated date. So the tracker and the clinic were more or less on the same track, 2-day difference. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went on I think 2 weeks before my due date, I went to the clinic. I'm not sure. I will put the video in with a date so you guys can see. Hey guys, so today is the 31st of January, last day of the month. I've been having contractions. Pains are coming and going. This last weekend, since Sunday, it has been kind of stronger than usual. I just got back from my last doctor's appointment, and yeah, the baby's coming any moment. So I'm actually due the 10th of February, but they say the baby will come at any time. So yeah, the pain is stopped now for, but it's not that bad yet. They're saying it's extremely. So I'm doing a natural birth, no epidural, natural. Fingers crossed everything will just go smooth. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted, updated. I was having cramps and pains. Cramps, just it's nothing compared to the actual pain, but I don't know, I'm new to this, so I was having little pains and cramps and stuff like that. So I think 2 weeks whatever before the date, before my due date, I went to the clinic and they were like, okay, there's nothing they can do. This is just like the waiting. We just gotta wait for the baby to come, because it's my first child. They cannot induce me, or the baby has to do what he has to do. Mind you, my whole pregnancy I've never went to what's the thing called, ultrasound. I never had that. I've never seen my child, nothing. They only had this little heartbeat machine kit. They put gel on your stomach and then they just listen to the heartbeat just to make sure that the baby is still alive, I would say. So they told me that the ultrasound, the thingy was broken, it was out of order. Yeah, that's what they told me. So I've never seen my child anything. Okay. Anyways, So I went to the clinic. They were like, okay, yeah, you have to wait, there's nothing we can do. So if the child hasn't come yet on the 10th, then I must go back on the 10th. So they also give me the tips and like advice on what to expect, what are the signs of true labor. I think I will do a video, so subscribe if you want to see the signs of true labor. I'm actually not done by me, so subscribe. I most definitely will do that video. So they give me the signs, whatever, of true living. I was like, okay, I know now more or less what to expect. You know, Philip went with me. He went with me every appointment, I would say. And they also told him, you know, they told the both of us, okay, if this happens, then you go to the hospital right away. Like, those are the signs of labor. Okay, the 8th comes around, nothing, no baby. The 10th comes around, nothing, no baby. I just started to feel more and more uncomfortable, like heartburn, back pains. The baby, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it felt like he was standing up on the one side. I don't know. It was just, oh, I really did not enjoy it. Like the last month of my pregnancy, especially last 2 months. Yeah. Guys, I didn't go back then. I think I didn't go back. I don't know. I will insert another clip of the last day that I went, but I didn't go back on the exact date. I actually didn't want to go back again because they were like, oh, there's nothing they can do. So I was just like, okay, fine, I don't want to go back again. But my mom was like, oh, you have to go. It's your first baby, what. And I was like, oh, okay. She basically forced me. I really didn't want to go because public clinics are like, you have to get up early every time you have to go there. You have to stand in a long, you literally have to stand. You can't even sit. There are no chairs for you to sit. Chairs are inside, but outside, no chairs. The chairs that are there are for the old people. So you gotta stand the whole entire time. They don't have special treatment for pregnant women. Nothing. You gotta stand the whole time. By the time you go inside, the nurses, they have their attitudes, moods, whatever. If the queue is too long, then when you actually get to the nurses' little room or whatever, then some of them are actually going out on lunch. Like, it's just, oh, I hated it. I still do hate it. Anyways, today is the 9th of Feb, and last night I started to have another contractions from half past 10 until this morning. But the contractions have stopped now for a while. I think maybe 2 hours or so it has stopped. 2-3 hours. So I don't know if we are still having the forced labor thingy, because my due date is actually tomorrow, which is the 10th. And yeah, so I don't know if I'm in forced labor or what is going on. That day I was also having like cramps and pains, but yeah, I think I was just exhausted. I was over pregnancy. Like, when I used to watch videos of ladies, you know, and they say like, oh, they were done being pregnant, I didn't understand, but now I know. Like, nah, I was so done being pregnant. So on the 3rd, fast forward to what happened. So on the 3rd of March, around 2:30 in the morning, I started to feel like period pains. Not strong, but it was there. So I got up, went to the bathroom, and got back. So I laid in bed like maybe 5 minutes. I would say if it's not any less than that. but it was most definitely not more than that. Then I got this pain again. I was like, all right, I feel like the urge to go to the toilet again, so I went. So then I was like, okay, there was this church. So I was like, okay, I came in and I was like, babe, I came in, lay down a little bit. No, I didn't lay down. I actually woke him up and I was like, babe, I think it's time. And I was like, okay, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I'm serious, dead serious. So I made we contacted my parents. So while they were on the way to our house, I quickly freshen up a little bit, and their pains were coming and coming. Like, guys, their pains were getting more and more intense. They were getting more and more intense. I was like, oh my goodness, like period pains got nothing. It's got nothing on that pain. Like, it's got nothing. If you are afraid of pains and if you don't have medical aid, and they won't give you epidural, so it's gonna be like raw. It will be just like that. If you are afraid of pains, girl, don't get pregnant. Do not have children, because that pain, hey, and just the fact that you have to go through it alone, it's all worth it though. It's all worth it at the end of the day. But yo, so my parents came, they picked us up, the baby stuff and my stuff was at their house, so they brought the bags and stuff. We went to the hospital. Now it's like, I would say 4 o'clock. We got to the hospital. So they dropped me and my mom there, like my dad and Philip. Philip is my man. If you don't know, if you are new here, subscribe so you can see more of us. Anyway, so they dropped me and my mom at the hospital, and they went to pick up his mom, Philip's mom. So my mom had to go to work in the morning, so Philip's mom had to stay with me. And because of the fact that me and him are not married, he had to leave. Only one person had to stay with me. So someone is weak. So I went in. We went in. Actually, they asked me, my name or what. I give them my clinic card. They fill in whatever they had to fill in, some forms, whatever. And then they were like, I need to pee, thingy. I did that. They asked if it's my first baby or whatever. So I told them yes, and they were like, okay, you have to walk down the hall, Here's another thingy for you to watch. So I walked, I did that, just a little bit, and then they were like, okay, fine. I have to go lay down on a bed. Guys, this is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I had to lay down on a bed. At that moment, the pain was not as intense as it, as the day proceeded. Like, it got worse. But I thought, like, okay, this is the first and the last, if they were going to checking the baby's heart. So they were actually monitoring the baby's heartbeat. So you have to lay on a bed. They put some thingies on your stomach, like, and then there's a machine that is like, as the baby's heartbeat is doop, 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 then the thingy is writing on a paper. So if you do move, you have to lay very still. If you move, then the machine makes its own things or whatever, you know, or it doesn't hear the heartbeat, doesn't come out like it's supposed to come out, and then you have to redo the whole thing. So while having contractions, you have to lay still, because if you move, then the child most definitely will also move inside of you, and then they won't catch the heartbeat properly. How on earth can you lay still while having contractions? Please explain it to me. That part was the worst for me. Like, no, it was not the worst for me, but it was one of the worst things. Like, oh, it was not nice at all. So guys, I had contractions throughout that whole day. I had contractions coming and going. I didn't rest nothing. The whole day I just have the urge to go pee, and my mom was like, don't go to the toilet too much, because they were afraid like I'm gonna push your baby out in the toilet. But that is labor. Like, they don't call it labor for nothing. It's seriously, that shit is labor. My mother-in-law was with me the whole time. She was so supportive. Like, she was seriously supportive. You know, every time the contraction would come, she would like rub my back for me. Yeah. So yeah, I was there like the whole day. I had contractions. My mom and my aunt and boyfriend and everyone, they came visiting hours. They would come check on me, then they would leave. I walked, you know, I was having this ball thingy, and I was like, you know, doing the squat thingy. Nothing. I had and every time I had to go back to the bed, you know, then they had to check, and then the nurses also have to check how far along the baby was. When I got there, I was 2 centimeters dilated, guys, and I have to go to 10. 2 centimeters dilated, and it was like, so around around 6-7 o'clock, I was 6 centimeters. Yeah, between 7 and 8, I was 6 centimeters dilated. And after that, like around 8 and 9, I was like 8 centimeters dilated. And mind you, my blood pressure was also very high, so they had to monitor me like every half an hour. They had to check my blood pressure. They had to give me pills for it to calm down, because they were like, oh, some signs of preeclampsia. Maybe they had to do emergency C-section, or they had to send me to the capital city window. They were like, there are signs, symptoms of preeclampsia. If you don't know what it is, you can maybe search it up, or I will do a video on that too. So that happened. I don't know, I was maybe stressed because of like, I just wanted this baby out, guys. Like, the pains were, oh my goodness, I couldn't sit, I couldn't lay, nothing. When those pains were popping up, I was just like, oh my goodness. It was too much. It was too intense. So I was still in labor. The nurses were like, oh, they can't do nothing. And they, you know, around like 12 o'clock, 11, 12, the nurse was like, yeah, I should not push. But I was feeling pressure down there, guys. Like, I was feeling pressure down there. Every time I would have contractions, you know, I would feel that pressure. So I felt like, okay, the baby maybe wants to come out, and she was like, oh, don't push. So every time when I had a contraction, I just have to hold it in. Like, you know, I was like, how the heck can I hold it in? I'm not pushing. The child is doing it on its own. Now, so around 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, now the 4th, we are now on the 4th of March. a doctor came. She was like, okay, what's going on? So the nurse was like, oh, she's first time mom, what, informing her, whatever. And she was like, oh, I'm pushing and what. And then the doctor was like, okay, let's go. So she checked and she was like, oh my goodness, she won't be able to, the baby won't be able to come out. She won't give birth naturally because like she was in labor for too long. So I was in labor for too long. I was swelling from the inside, so my baby's head, like, it was blocked. He couldn't come out at all, and that's why I was stuck at that. So they gave me medication for the swelling to go off a little bit. They waited for 30 minutes and they were like, no, we can't do this. Emergency C-section. They called the other nurses, you know, the ones that are doing the C-section stuff, whatever that's gonna happen. The doctor called another doctor and 2 other nurses. Yeah, they were 4. So like 5 o'clock, 4:30. No, not 4:30. Yeah, a few minutes past 4 or whatever. I went into the thingy where they do the C-section stuff, and you know that made my back is still very sore. Like, it's not normal after that C-section. So I think that they injected me with the epidural or whatever, and you know they were like, okay, just lay down. I lay down. My mother-in-law was just waiting for me in the room. I was alone inside the operation room or whatever it's called. The one doctor was sitting here with me, just instructing me, talking to me. You know, I lay down. They put up this thingy, and then they cut me open. They took out my baby. Oh my goodness, he was crying. He was born 15 minutes past. He was born 50 minutes past 6 o'clock. I almost said 7. I don't know. But he was born and then 15 minutes past 6 o'clock. Oh my goodness, he was crying. Like, the minute they took out the baby and I heard his cry, I turned around and there was literally a clock right there. And I was like, oh my goodness, my baby's here. Mind you, I didn't know the gender. And my baby was crying. I was like, what are they doing to him? I think they just washed off the blood and stuff. And then the one nurse took him, turned him into a blanket, and I was like, oh my goodness, what gender is it? And she just came and opened, you know, his legs, you know, just took off the blanket where his legs are, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then she showed me his face. And I was like, he just looks like his father. I don't know, I think he looks like his daddy. Everyone has got the thingy, like they like, oh, he looks like your brother, oh, he looks like you, oh, he looks like, but I personally think he looks like his father. Anyways, so they took him out, and as they started to, you know, sew, you know, is it so, you know, van werk. Then the medication, you know, start to pull out. So I started to feel that pain, like my stomach is freaking open, and the pain, I started to feel it like, what? So I was like, oh my goodness, I can feel the pain, the medication is pulling out. They were like injected another thing that made me like, oh, totally confused. It made me just sleep, but then I was also not awake fully, I would say. But I was hearing the conversations they were having, whatever. And around 8 o'clock, I would say, I was done. They pushed me out of the theater. What is it called? That thing. I was pushed out, and I went to another room where ladies that had C-sections were, and there were 2 other girlies, and then me, my poor baby, my poor child. I think he was hungry. I was not having much milk. My boobs, he could not latch on properly. So yeah, yeah. So I had to. And my mother-in-law, she was so tired. She went home the minute when I came out because she was with me the entire time, so I could imagine she was very tired. So they didn't even want Philip to come in when she left. So I was there the whole time alone, and I had to lay there for 6 hours without moving, nothing. Mind you, my child was just put there with me, but he slept for most of the part. So like 3 o'clock, whatever it was, visiting hours, Philip came, my parents came, yeah. And after that, they bathed me and then they moved me to another room. I actually could get up. It was very painful, but yeah. So guys, that was the story time, my labor and delivery. If you are not big on pain, girl, and if you don't have any medical aid and have to do it all natural, if you want to do it natural, strongs. We women are actually very strong, like we are. I don't think men will be able to handle that much pain. But okay, whatever. That's not for me to say. But anyways, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the story time. Please go check out my other one. How I found out that I was pregnant. I'm not a molester, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.